So my teacher, one of my teachers, when we talk about transfiguration, I'm starting from the general idea and then I'm going deeper. We always take the idea of Christianity. There is one moment in Christianity, a very important moment in the foundation of Christianity, where basically Christ takes to Mount Tabor, three of his main disciples. He had 12, of course, so he takes three of them. The ones who were chosen, he felt they were wise enough, prepared enough, and then he took them to this mountain. Till today there is a big monastery, St. Francis monastery over there, and he showed his real face to them. They thought he's just a human being who had wise ideas and good thinking and spiritual powers or something, but he didn't realize who he really was. And then he transfigured himself. They see him, he take the veil out of their eyes, and they see reality as it really is for a second, and they see God in front of them, see a radiating infinite light, and they basically filled with shame and awe. Why are they filled with shame? Filled with shame because this light of God is so generous, is so benevolent, so good, and we are, when we are in our shell, in our normal ego mind, is so greedy, so selfish, so contracted, so the difference is so big, we can just feel shame comparing to this thing which is so pure. And they felt awe because they understood that however big they usually think ourselves, we always cherish ourselves a lot, and we are nothing but a mirage, a spark of dust, a grain, something really comparing to what reality really is, actually what we really are. So this was something that totally transformed them. They become different people. They had like a gigantic leap in the spiritual evolution from this single incident. And some scholars believe this is the most important moment in the life of Jesus, basically, that moment of revelation. It was probably the most important time for his disciples. Because even when he walked on water, it was just a God who can perform miracles. There are a lot of these people. Or even when he, I don't know, did other stuff that were amazing, he healed lepers, he create food out of nothing. It's still something that a lot of yogis or a lot of saints can do and did, and it can become like the power of concentration. Even a magician can do it in a way. So that moment they could not, their mind could not kind of analyze or deform or distorted or manipulated to be just something that they can still exist with it. Once they had this, their ego could not live anymore the way it was before. It had to disappear, it had to dissolve, because they really saw the divine. They didn't had a good speculation about what the divine is or the existence of the divine. They have a direct insight of the divine, and it transformed them. The most important moment in Hinduism, for example, is very similar. It happened in the Bhagavad Gita, and actually in the Mahabharata. And the story is that Krishna is the charioteer, is the rider of the chariot of the main warrior in a colossal battle, colossal fight between 5 holy brothers and their even nephew. And this guy who was the main warrior of this battle was Arjuna. He was a big warrior. And then he asked Krishna what to do. I don't want to make this fight because everybody will die and it will be disaster. And Krishna said, you have to fight. And he teach him what is karma yoga basically, and like the most fundamental type of yoga in India. And then but Krishna doesn't believe him. He say, who are you to give me that, to tell me that? How can you tell me that? Who do you think you are, basically? Even though he really respect Krishna, he had kind of a fate thing. He had a fate issue. He couldn't. It was too much to stretch to believe in what Krishna said. Because Krishna say things which are crazy. He say, no, you have to fight. He was somebody who really kind of preached for peace mostly. He said, no, you have to fight because this is your role. This is why you were born into this world. And it doesn't matter because it's just a leela, it's just a dream. And and it's all me basically. It's all God playing himself, and nobody really die, nobody really born, nobody really decay, nobody really killed, nobody really get killed. So the idea is that he had a fate problem. And what Krishna did, he did his transfiguration as well. He kind of did something, and Arjuna experienced samadhi, a state of cosmic consciousness, and he saw Krishna as Krishna really was, and he transformed him forever. He understood at that moment, and the war was on, and it's a big story, I mean not specified here, but it changed humanity basically. These two issues of transfiguration alone have changed a very significant percent of humanity today. At least half of the population of Earth were not the same unless these two episodes in history of transfiguration. So transfiguration, even though it's not a very common technique, it's very fundamental, it's very important technique. Actually, there were a lot of other cases of transfiguration in history in almost any religion, and they appear, and they actually were a very, very, how to say, there is a word in Hebrew, I don't know how to say, mekonen. They were a fundamental moment, a moment which kind of create a new, different reality for humanity, basically. And while it seems like this technique is kind of preserved only for Krishna and Arjuna and Jesus and people like this, actually every person can do that. Because in our core, in our essence, we are just like them. In our core, in our essence, every person alive is basically an emanation of the divine. And we are different in the coats that we have, in the armor that we kind of put on ourselves to kind of hide the light, in our shells or shields, or something it's called klipa, the skins. In Kabbalah it will be called klipa. But basically our fundamental essence is just the same. So it's always God playing his God, and he play hide and seek with himself. He take one form and he play with another form, and he create this drama, but it can be revealed. Every person here has the potential to have this revelation. You can put the mask out. Even the word personality, which is our mask basically, was used in the Greek drama to say it was the mask that they put in the Greek drama to hide who they are, like to play somebody else. So we all got to play somebody else in a way. And it has all kinds of cosmic reasons. If we take again Kabbalah, they will say that God wanted to experience himself not as the whole, so he created the souls, which are part of him, but the souls would immediately be contracted into him because they will only want to be in his light. They will not have any self-will, because all the will be cancelled because of the strong will, the strong bliss and joy of being connected with God, and they only want to connect with him, and then you match straight back to him, so they will not have free will. And so he wanted to create them free will, and then he didn't want also to give them the ability, he wanted to want to connect to him again. So he had to create something which is the total opposite of himself, which will have mask, which will not want to be absorbed in him again. So we have to have in some delusion that the God or the source of what created the souls will not be there. And then because God in his essence is independent, he doesn't have to be dependent on anything for his happiness. The souls should strive to be the same. They strive to earn their happiness, earn their freedom by their own will. So it will not be kind of just a mere gift and they feel kind of guilt or something. You want them to earn the right to be connected again to the bliss. So they kind of exist as separate and as a whole again. And for this, you create these limitations, and from this moment of separation, the ambition of the soul, basically the true ambition, the core ambition of the soul is to unite again. But unite out of free will. Unite out of going through the spiritual journey, which eventually make the soul become like God. Because now the souls have a coat, have kind of a skin that is the opposite. It's selfish. He wants stuff only for himself. He's separate, have a very strong feeling of separateness. While God is just giving, he doesn't have any feeling of separateness. So the soul has to have the transformation to be connected again. So there is all kind of stories around it. The Shakash-Vishavis and Tantra Yoga all have certain stories, but eventually the idea is that we have to retrace our path. We have to be connected again to the source. We want to experience the deepest level of ourselves. And this is pretty hard to do by ourselves, which means when I look to myself inside, it takes years of meditation, but it works, of course. Many spiritual practitioners have used this technique, but it can work in other ways. And the easiest way is basically to find God in somebody else. Like what happened as a form of grace with Jesus, with Krishna. Buddha was doing stuff like this to monks sometimes. He showed them something through his paranormal powers, revealed reality to them, and so on. So this is how it used to work, and this is how it works today. And we're going to do some experiences with that, and it's an amazing technique. As Rumi used to say, when I know you, I know myself. When I know myself, I know you. When I love you, I love myself. When I love myself, I love you. So the idea is to know ourselves through somebody else. Because if I can see the divine in somebody, it's such a big revelation, it means I can then still identify the divine in me as well. And then I'm changed and I form a connection. Almost all the tantric practices that people do, especially tantric rituals, they come to use this idea, because we basically want to make the other person as a channel for divine energy to emanate inside our partner, and so whatever performance we do, it's transpersonal. It's kind of we make love with Shakti, with divine, not with a person. And this makes this an archetypical moment, an archetypical lovemaking, transpersonal lovemaking. And then we have much more resources. We have unlimited resources. If normally we just feel a certain level of attraction, because we have all these filters in the mind, I like her, I don't like her, I like him, I don't like him, he upset me before, he said something nice to me, he didn't buy me flower, did buy me flower. When that happens, there is nothing like this. The mind cannot work with transfiguration at the same time. And then we have ultimate passion, ultimate connection, ultimate energy, ultimate orgasm, ultimate joy, and it can lead to ultimate grace, which basically lead to spiritual freedom. So it's a very powerful thing. Any question for now? Okay, that's great.